Okay, everybody, just so you know, today is Friday, January the 31st, 2020. So that means that tomorrow is 2/1/2020. If you follow my channel, you know what tomorrow is. Tonight, Friday, January the 31st, 2020, at 11:59 p.m. my time, I live in Springfield, Missouri, my time, the contest for the GoPro Hero 7 Black ends. If I have time tomorrow, I will pick a winner, somebody who won the GoPro Hero 7 Black. So, if you're not entered to win, you don't have much time. So, basically midnight tonight it ends. And if I have time tomorrow, I will pick a winner tomorrow, whoever won the GoPro Hero 7 Black, and I will either announce it tomorrow or sometime throughout the week. So, just so you guys know. So, as I'm getting live unloaded here in Fort Smith, Arkansas, excuse me. Sorry, that was going to continuously make noise. But anyways, as I get live unloaded here in Fort Smith, Arkansas, once I get live unloaded here, I am deadheading, I think it's like 4 hours, 5 hours to Springfield, Missouri, back home. I'm going home. Once I get home, I got to pick up my car because it's in the shop again because I had some work done to it again. And then I have to go over to work in order to do a background check. So, at the end of every single week that I work, I have to do paperwork. I know a few videos ago, I said that I had to come back to my tractor to do some paperwork that I forgot. The paperwork's on the phone. And what that paperwork that I have to do is, I have to turn in how many miles I drove for that week. And that's the reason why in my videos, why I keep track of all the miles, because that helps. That's why I take a picture of my dash and put it in the videos to prove to me that I have driven this, because I forget things, and that helps me a lot. That way I have documentation. So at the end of every week, I have to tell them the miles that I drove, how many stops I've had, how many hours I've worked, which means how many hours of detention pay that I'm going to get paid. This week I'm only going to get 3 hours of detention pay because in Macomb, they took 3 hours to load me. My appointment time was at 2. I got there at 12:45. So from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., those 2 hours are free. Those don't count. You don't charge detention. From 4 p.m. until 6:30 p.m., when they stopped live unloading or live loading me, they get charged. So they get charged 3 hours of detention. So right now I've currently driven a total of 2,561.3 miles this week so far. And then I've had 7 total stops for this week. And then I have 3 hours of detention pay. So I have to do all of that. I have to tell them all of that through my phone. But because I have bills and diesel receipts and stuff like that, I put it in this envelope and I write stuff on it, and I'll show you what this envelope looks like when I get done with it. And I put everything on this envelope and I seal it with some tape. I keep tape in here and I turn my bills in this envelope. So the point of all that, me telling you all of that, is while I'm sitting here waiting to get live unloaded, it's, in my opinion, time efficient for me to figure out my miles, to figure out my stops, and to do all the legwork now. And when I get the paperwork done, start putting my tractor together. So literally all I have to do when I get to work, drop my trailer, call my girl, say, hey, come and get me, and then I'm literally ready. All I gotta do is just put everything into the car and go. And I'm not waiting around, not messing around, no nothing. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what this segment is gonna be, is me doing the paperwork, some of the paperwork, because I've already done most of the paperwork. So let's get to it. Alright, so for now, if you guys can see it, cool. If you can't, then I'm sorry. But for now, this is what this looks like. I always write my name and the week. That way they know who it's from and what week it's for. Then I always put the miles. I can't put the miles yet because I haven't driven home yet. I could put my miles now, but I'm writing in Sharpie. Not smart. I had 7 total stops this week. I had one in Republic, Missouri, then Jackson, Missouri, and then Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Garden City, Georgia, and then Macomb, and then here, Fort Smith. So 7 total stops this week. 3 hours of detention. Oh, and I always put my start miles and my end miles. And I had 3 hours of detention in Macomb. So the appointment was at 2. I got there at 12:45, so it doesn't start till 2. I was there from 2 to 4. That's free. From 4 to 6:30, 3 hours. I'm charging them 3 hours of detention. 4, 5, 6. 3 hours. So when I get home, I'll finish putting in the miles driven for the week, the total miles, and then down here, I'll put whatever's wrong with my tractor. My ABS light came on, and my window switch, and we'll be done. Turn everything in. So we're done. All I gotta do is put my bills and everything in here, and we're good to go. So for now, we are done with paperwork until we get home, and then we will redo the paperwork, we'll add on to the paperwork, and double check the paperwork. So that way, when I get there, all I gotta do is just literally just turn everything in, grab everything onto my tractor, and go. Yeah! We just now got our paperwork. It is our paperwork. So I pulled forward, get out of the dock, get out of the way. I'm sliding my tandems right now. I've shut my doors. And we going home! Yeah! I'm excited about that. That makes me happy, because it's Friday. I'll be home in 4 hours. And I am feeling better. I'm not really that sick. Let go! just now. Work said, hey man, we need you to come over, do some paperwork really quick. We need to do a background check. The reason why is because a month ago, 2 months, I don't know, sometime in a short amount of time ago, we got bought out by a new company. And the new company is making us redo all the paperwork and redo everything. And so a part of that is taking a drug test. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything. I don't even drink anymore. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do drugs. Like, I don't do anything anymore. So I don't have I have an issue taking one because that's a search and a seizure. But long story short, I don't have an issue taking a drug test because I know I'll pass. But anyways, that's what I'm on my way to do right now, is to go and take this drug test. I wanted to make it to my mechanics by 2, because that's when they close.
Turn right onto East Kearney Street, Route 66.
Oh well, let's go and take this drug test. Because it was a medical facility, I didn't feel like bringing you guys in with me. I was going to put on my chest piece, but I was like, I'm not messing with that. It's just a drug test. I know it's going to come back clean. They have to send it to a lab for results and analytics and all that stuff. I don't do drugs. I eat the same foods every single day. I know certain foods will pop hot for dope. I forget what that is. I don't eat those foods though. It's like some sort of lasagna. But anyways, we're going back to work to finish whatever, I don't know, and go from there. I'm on Kearney Street. I'm on the bad side of town right now. I just passed a woman walking on the side of the road who is doped up. And as she passed, she looked up. She started grabbing her titties. It's like, what the fuck? But anyways, we're on our way back. I'm not gonna show you the drive back, but we're gonna go do that. All right, so I also have a funny story for you guys. Today, when I got back from the drug test, my boss asked me, the normal boss, okay, so I guess I technically speaking have 4 bosses. I've got 2 bosses that I talk to almost on a daily basis. And those are the 2 that I always refer to. And then I have another boss, a 3rd boss, that I basically only see when I go into Springfield. And then I have a main boss, like that's over the company, I guess, GM of the company here in Springfield. But anyway, so I have a funny story about that. So when I got back into Springfield after taking my drug test, my boss asked me, he's like, so did you pass? And it was my boss, some random individual standing right here, and then another one of my bosses, the one that I only see when I go to Springfield, and then some other random lady. I forget her name. But anyways, so my boss asked me, he's like, so did you pass? And I looked at him and I was getting ready to be a smart aleck. I look at the random guy, I whisper to my boss, and like as I'm getting ready to whisper, the random guy leaves and goes into an office. So I asked my boss, I'm like, is that the boss? I said the guy's name, but I'm not gonna say his name on video. And my boss is like, yeah, that's the manager. He said that's the manager. So I was like, oh, then yes sir, I did pass, because So this the funny part though, because I've met my boss, like the manager, like the boss. I've met him before in the past, but it was kind of like sort of in passing, like more of a hi bye, how you doing, sir type deal. Like I really haven't really talked to him that much, if that makes any sense. So I've met the guy, but I've never met the guy. So it was kind of funny because you know, I left. Well, I forgot to get some paperwork for taxes, so I left work and I had to come back there. And I was talking to another employee. And he has a huge beard, so I was basically petting his beard. And our manager, he has a beard, and so like I was saying, well, he's well groomed, because when I have my beard, I'm not groomed or anything. You guys know how I am. You've seen me. And so the other employee's like, oh yeah, that's real good. Stuck up to the boss. And I was like, look, man, I didn't even know you was the boss until today. So I say all that because I want to say this. Most of the time I do not like bosses or managers or anything. I try to stay away, but I'll say this. He seems like a very good guy. Like, I actually like him just for the simple fact that when we met, he didn't introduce himself as like, hey, I am, you know, Casey, I am your boss. Because people do that. Like, if I was a really famous big YouTuber and I went, hey, I'm Doit DeWitt, I'm a YouTuber, then I'm trying to like impress you and like show you that I have power and authority over you. People do that. Like, he doesn't seem like the type that he acts like or seems like he's better than you. He seems like he's on your level. Like, even though he's your boss, he seems like he's on your level. So like, not many people are like that. Like, I legitimately like that. So I mean, I don't have a problem communicating with him, but because of the military, you know, no good news or no news is good news. Whenever you see your bosses, you're always in trouble. That's what's engraved in my head from the military and stuff. So that's why I always try to limit my communication with my bosses. It's nothing personal, and they know that. But this gentleman, who is my manager, I guess, I actually like, and I give kudos to him. And I respect him immensely because, you know, that is something that most people don't do and won't do. You know, they'd be like, hey, I'm Casey, I am your manager. I'm like, okay, you know. It's like, hey, I'm Casey, it's nice to meet you, man. Like, I don't know, that's impressive to me. Like, if you guys ever meet me, you know, it'd be like, hey, I'm Doit DeWitt, it's nice to meet you guys. You know, I'm not gonna be like, hey, I'm Doit DeWitt, I'm a huge YouTuber, or like what, like, that's just stupid to me. We're all human beings, no one's like, thumbs up to you. That is awesome.